Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 5 of History Makers Training in Kyiv, Ukraine with Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Thank you all for joining us. As you're coming in, guys, please share. Thank you very much. I appreciate you all. It's morning here, wherever you are. If it may be afternoon or evening, good afternoon, good evening. And if I haven't said good morning already, good morning to you. I'm really pleased to be here. So the theme of this HMT is how to plan, structure, and achieve your life goals for the next 25 years. So here we are again, day 5. Welcome. If you haven't joined us in the last 4 days, the program are available on YouTube. So Dr. Sunday Adelaja. So you can go to YouTube, Dr. Sunday Adelaja, and you'll be able to see the video over the last 4 days. But I'm pleased that you're here today. You can still catch up with us as we're going along. So again, I want to say share, please. Right. Today, I'm also going to, I do that every day, actually, in the last 4 days. But I'm going to show you the books that accompany this HMT. This is the first book here, is What Do You Do With Your Time? So for those people that are not sure what to do with their time, here is a book, What Do You Do With Your Time? Another book I'm going to show you is Who Will Attend Your Funeral? I know, yes, it's morning, or okay, it might be afternoon, or actually it might be evening where you are. But yes, we are all going to go one day. We came and we're going to go. Here we are. Who will attend your funeral? This is more than just death, but it's more about living and why people would attend your funeral and what you've achieved in life. So go ahead and get one of these books. And then there's another one here, How to Regain Your Lost Years. No matter what age you are, you will have lost years, especially if you've reached the age of accountability. You will have lost some years based on many factors. But in any case, this is a book. It's a how-to book. How can you go wrong with a how-to book? And I did say yesterday, and I'm saying this again today, that these books are good for gifts. You can give this, especially now that Valentine is coming. I know a lot of people celebrate Valentine's Day all over the world. You don't have to get chocolate. They just eat the chocolate and that's it. No value. Here is something that you can get somebody. Start to change people's mindset on what to get for gifts. Give them this, How to Regain Your Lost Years. This book, I love the title, and I think it's one of the books that everyone should have, at least attempt to read this. It says, Life's Greatest Secret. Greatest secrets. Life has got secrets, I know, because there's so many things or so many questions that I have. But to understand and know life's greatest secrets, I think that's a must. So here we go. Life's Greatest Secrets is a must get. My greatest discovery in life. That's the subtitle. And then we have here one of my favorite books. I think all of us need to practice this. Not practice to have the plague of silence or to be plagued with silence, but to know not when to speak, when to shout, when to say something. So The Plague of Silence is a book that I think everyone must read. This shouldn't take much to read. It's not that hefty. It's a little bit more lighter than most of Dr. Sunday's books. So here, The Plague of Silence is a must-have for everyone. And the final book I have here is The Elijah Challenge. The Elijah Challenge. A lot of you, last year, December, you would have seen a video with Dr. Sunday, Elijah Challenge. I enjoyed this period of the challenge. Everything about the challenge was amazing. It gave me confidence. And I think a lot of people also wrote to Dr. Sunday and wrote in the comments that they became really, really brave just by watching the Elijah Challenge. Why don't you go one up with this book? The Elijah Challenge is a book. It's also in a book format. So here you can have one of this, the Elijah Challenge. So guys, without further ado.
Okay, maybe I will talk about it.
Okay, all right.
New release.
All right. There is a new release book. Dr. Sunday will also talk about it, but let me just mention it. Kingdom First, Church Second. That's a new book. Kingdom First, Church Second. Think about that for a few seconds. Let me give you a few seconds to think about that. Kingdom First, Church Second. Yes, for all you religious people, church. I think it's a book for you. So Dr. Sunday will talk a little bit more about it. I can't wait to read the book, Kingdom First, Church Second. Yes. And get one for your pastor as well, especially the GO, so that they could also understand this. They also need our help as well. They don't know it all and they need help. So here we go. I'm going to pass on the mic to Dr. Sunday Adelaja. I will see you later on today. So this is the first session of many sessions today. Join us throughout the day. This is Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mayowa. And I want to say about this new book that just came out. It just came, I didn't even know it came out today. But I got notification from Amazon that it is #1 already.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
#1 bestseller already. The very same day. You love that?
A lot of church people want to really see.
See why? Say.
No, I say a lot of.
You know, you say you love it.
Yeah, I say I love the title of the book, and a lot of church people or religious people want to actually see what is inside.
Why do you love the title?
It's very catching because for most people we don't really know the difference, because a lot of people think the church is the kingdom. A lot of people think church and the kingdom are one and the same, and for so many they don't even have the concept of the kingdom. So like when you say the kingdom of God, they are thinking it's heaven.
Okay.
Yeah.
But church, what some people think when they are in the church, they are also in heaven already.
Heaven. Why others think that? Why others think that being in church is being in the kingdom. So there's a lot of confusion. I definitely know that a lot of people want to actually, at least for people who are curious, they want to find out what's inside the book.
And you are saying something, Pastor Nira.
No, I love the just like Chris said.
Is it the title? You said
the title. I love the title. And I love books like this. So this book, it looks like once I get
the photograph you are talking about.
Yeah, the photograph, the design, everything. So I'm looking forward to reading this book. Once I get home, this is probably going to be the first book
Sorry?
This is going to be the first book I read once I return back.
Yeah, it's already on. It's not yet. Maybe we're going to be able to print it before you go, but it's with the printers here. But on Amazon, it's already there on Kindle. Yeah, it's already there on Kindle. Oh, you got it already?
Yeah, just pre-order. You have to pre-order it, and I think it's just
pre-order.
By the 10th, yeah.
Yeah, by the time it will come to you. But when you pre-order now, I think it will just be for a fragment of the. I think it's $3 or something. Yeah. So, yes. So kingdom. But this is going to argue the case for the superiority of the kingdom, preeminence of the kingdom over the church. And it's a whole book. Because some people could argue that yes, the kingdom is, but they don't know how to argue it. But for a whole book to, you really get it.
I got the idea. I got the idea when I read Kingdom Living Life.
Yes, but a little bit.
Yeah, that's where I got the idea. But like you said, the ability to actually argue and bring out all the facts and all the reasons why is what was missing in the book.
Yeah, but this one, you'll be thoroughly satisfied. Yeah. Oh, their writing is... You have your birthday today? Yes. Oh, today is Chris's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Anybody there? Where is Mayowa? You have a cake for him? Or later on? Later on, we should go to class now? Yes. Or we should stop the class and go for cake? No. Huh? Okay, we listen.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations. All right, we will still, so they said the evening, so we'll still come back to the congratulations. How come you arrange your birthday for the HMT or the HMT arrange it for you? Well, you are the most consistent participant in the HMT So I guess it's just it's worth it for you to be to be having your birthday here as well. Okay, you and Pastor Nero are the most consistent in HFT these days. All right, guys. Hello, my sister. Did you people manage to get Mrs. Olojo? Did you manage to get Sam? Make them they do it to ham every day.
Yes, I have arranged.
Okay, thank you. So, all right. I guess this is a good day because today is the day of Al's Chris's birthday, and it's the day that this is going to be a memorable day because it's the day that the Kingdom book came out, and he's a Kingdom man. So that is a good one right there. Wow, I'm excited. I mean, how can a book come out the same day and become the bestseller? Wow. That is good. It means that maybe the thing is catchy or something. It means people, yeah.
I think you're known already. Yeah. Amazon has maybe the shoppers on Amazon platform know you already.
They are waiting for my book.
So anything that comes out from you hits the market.
New things.
Sorry?
I said the author.
Maybe because of the author, they've read many of your books and they say this one is different, so they always wait for the next one.
Wow, that's a great church you have. I like it.
Also, I think because there's something about the kingdom, and I watched a video. I think you posted on your wall.
Yeah.
The church age is coming to an end, and we're in the kingdom age. So I think that's triggering people's curiosity also.
And people don't really know what then is the kingdom. Yes. That is true. Because, okay, if the kingdom age is come, what is it about?
So I think
that is true. And that prophecy came out this year. And it was like we just planned it together. And the book at the same time too. Wow. The kingdom age is actually here already. You know, did you people? I sent a comment out yesterday. Somebody sent me a message, a comment yesterday. I sent it out. Did you people see it? Because it's very exciting. It's very interesting. Some people are calling me Satans, demons, psychopaths, and things like that. And at the same time, other people's eyes are being opened, even in that same Nigeria.
That's why I think some pastors in Nigeria are sending them to do that. Because we have...
but the pastors themselves are not coming out.
You know, they are sending people because someone confessed recently to someone on the platform because the person was attacking her live broadcast seriously. So she decided to call
that person
privately and began to talk. And she's confessed that they are being sent.
By the pastors?
Yes. Yeah. So some of the videos they are being sent to do.
Who knows if they are paid?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, they are paying them.
Possible they are paid.
Ooh. But what's the
person said that she knows that it is the truth. She knows that what you're doing is
the truth
because they are being sent and they have to do it.
Yeah, because and they cannot refuse their pastors in Nigeria. In Nigeria, it's like their pastors is almost their God. They do everything they tell them to do. And but I missed everything. Thank God there are some people whose eyes are being opened as well. Whose eyes are being opened on daily basis. So see what this person wrote. You can read it to people. Okay. So the same day that I got that you are Satan, you are demon, is the same day I got something the opposite. So it means that's just the way it's supposed to be.
I should read it, yeah?
Uh-huh.
So we are in Lagos, Nigeria, where your message hit the most. You don't.
So it's hitting Lagos. I'm not even aware that the message is hitting Lagos, but they are there on the ground. They said it's hitting home.
So you don't know what impact your messages is having here.
In Lagos.
Some churches are even afraid to ask for tithe now.
Believe it? That is amazing. Can you believe it? It means the thing is hitting home little by little. Now I understand why I'm a Satan. Because it's hitting home very well.
It says, most importantly, there's a hunger beyond being just churchgoers to God seekers.
That is even more important. So going to church is no more satisfying to people. Yes. And that's why it's good that this book came out. Kingdom first, not church first. Kingdom first, church second. So people are churchgoers, but it's no more filling their soul. Yes. And they are talking about the hunger now arising in the land to know something beyond just church. Mm-hmm.
So most importantly, there's a hunger beyond being just churchgoers to God seekers. Thank you for yielding to God's call to free us. Of my opinion, Nigeria has raised two heroes. One is dead, called Fela, and the other one is DSA. The rest are crooks and followers, including zombies.
They are even praising Fela more than Gio. You agree with him?
At least spoke the
Fela that was a crack cocaine user.
Yeah, can you imagine?
He is more respected than our Geos. Wow. Okay, but thank God at least one Geo is among the two issues. So it's not totally finished for the Geos. Okay. So let's go back to our class today. We are continuing to talk about how to organize your life in such a way that you touch it every day. Or what is that? So how to organize your life around your goals. Yes. Part 6 today. How to organize your life around your goals, part 6. I think we're going to finish this topic today. If I don't finish this morning, we'll try to finish tonight. So we have done half of it already. I think everybody here, at least in this place, I don't know for those at home, but the people here, I'm sure they now know what is the foundation of organization. Every organization in your life, either for your business, everything has to be organized around your main life goals, main life vision, or main life mission. The second thing is I'm reading the pyramid, you see, the global life purpose. We also already know what global life purpose is. That's the vision, your own. Then the general plan, that's the more concrete, the resources and the methods. And that's the one that we almost stopped on yesterday because of the invisible resources, which are actually more important than other things, which we always wait for. Resources, what we're always waiting for, that God, I'm praying for and thinking it should come, but we really have them in abundance. So what we are going to, the fourth one we are going to begin to look at today is long-term plan. So that is the 25 years plan. But, then we are going to go from there. That's going to be fast, I hope. Then we are going to go from there to short-term plan. And then we end it up by planning for a day. But that planning for a day is coming also from the global purpose. So the short plan, the long-term plan also is coming from there. So everything is coming from there. The global life purpose is coming from the main values of life. The general plan is coming from the global life purpose. The long-term plan is coming from the general plan. And the short-term is coming from the long-term. And then the daily is coming from the short-term. So everything is a monolith. So everything is connected. You are not separated from any of your values and from any of your goals. Okay, so let's go to where we finished yesterday. Okay, this is where we are now. Long-term plan. So what is long-term plan? Let's long-term planning. Okay.
Number 4, long-term plan. Long-term plan. We take a global life purpose and distribute it to the segments of life for 10 years. The global life purpose must be put in intervals of 10 and 5 years.
So we are talking about 25 years. So that's what we are going to pick on. 25 years long-term plan. That's what our target is. Even though the whole thing is supposed to be till the end of your life. That is the global purpose. But, you know, for the sake of our something, we are taking 25 years first. But that 25 years has to be divided into 3 segments. The segment of 10, 10, making 20, then 5. So that you could hold it, you could see it. You could know what you are going to do at each segment. It's better to always eat the elephant in pieces. So how do you eat an elephant? That's what we are going to get into now. The elephant is big. 25 also is very big. How do I know what to do in the next 25 years? But if you cut that elephant into pieces and then pick one piece at a time, just have your schedule for it. One day, in the next 25 years, that elephant will be gone. So that's what we are doing here. So, but we start not by little pieces, because if you do little pieces of even an elephant, it will be like a house. It will still scare you away. But if you do segments, then you know one segment, when I finish that other one follows and all that. So whatever your your general plan is, because this is coming from the general plan. So look into your general plan, what you plan to do, what are the figures you have, what are the statistics you have. Then look at how you could divide them into segments. If we're talking about 25 years, look at how you could divide them into maybe 10, 10, 5, or 5, 10, 10. So if you have your figures there, I'm going to be showing you my examples, and you could also try to relate that to your own case.
Pastor Sunday's example. In the case of Pastor Sunday, global life goal encompasses all of life, but the plan for the rest of life is too abstract. That is why it is desirable to divide life into segments: long-term goals of 20 to 25 years and intermediate goals of 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, so long-term 25 years, but intermediate between them, you could say it's 5 to 10. Then 1 to 5 will be short-term goals. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Okay. So long-term goal is 20 to 25 years. Intermediate is 5 to 10 years. So if you are talking about 25 years, you have 10, 10, and then intermediate is the 5. Is it clear enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gradation of long-term plan. 25 years is a long lifespan, and it is necessary to take a period from 5 to 10 years. Thus, long-term plan is a plan for 20 to 25 years.
Okay.
Long-term plan depends on the time. Gradation plans depend on the length of time for which they are intended. Long-term plan, 20 to 25 years. Intermediate goals, less than 5 to 10 years. And short-term plan, 1 year.
Okay.
Creating a long-term plan depends on your age. If a person has to live an approximate of 30 years, his global life purpose should be divided into 3 parts of 10 years.
Is that clear? So let's say we are not talking about 25 years, we are talking about 30 years. So you divide them, break them down into 3 segments, 10 years each. If you presume that you have at least another 30 years to live, you decide that, you plan that. But I will tell you my own preference, that I normally tell people to plan till 40 mainly, 40 years old. But since most of us are already over 40, so it's never too late, just add another 30.
Yeah.
So at least 25. So we are going to take 25. We are going to look at our lives as if we are just 20. Even if you are 70 right now. Look at yourself as if you are just 20. So we are going to take it from there. So it depends on how you view yourself, how you assess yourself. But if you just look at your age now at 60 or 70 and say, I'm done, I'm at the end of my life, then you will not be able to plan anything. You will just give up. You'll be living in depression, discouragement. But if you view yourself as 20 years, because the spirit man never really gets old. So if you see yourself as 20 years, and just plan it. Plan for another 20 years and see, or at least 10 years. If we are talking about 25 years, let's plan for 25 years. And if we break it into segments, and at least if you've not been able to live the next 25, at least you'll be able to live the first 10, or the first 5, and then the next 10. So, okay, here we go.
If a person has to live an approximate of 30 years, his global life purpose should be divided into 3 parts of 10 years. For 50 years, his global life purpose can be divided into 5 parts of 10 years. And for 20 years, his global life purpose should be divided into 2 parts of 10 years. Example, how much time do I have left to live? Let's take a maximum of 70 years that God gives us for life on earth. And in that time, I have to run a system that will allow me to create a movement that will live forever. Maximum of 30 years left, but we are talking about 20 years.
25 years, yeah, we are talking about 25 years now. So here we go. The reason why we are doing all this is to be able to build our life into a system, into an organized system, planned system that will run, enabling us to maximize life and to be able to live the best of life, make the best of impact for the remaining years that we are left with. A lot of people don't like to think that they are left with only few more years to live or limited amount of time to live. But we've got to face reality. If you don't face that reality, you will never really evaluate yourself, and you will never actually be able to take life more serious than it is. You will just be following, the status quo. You just be living in the vicious circle, and you will just think everything is okay. You'll be deceiving yourself. You'll be living in deception that life, you wake up, it's morning, it's afternoon, it's evening, you go to bed. You will just think everything is okay, and then one day you are dead. So for death not to take you by surprise, you have to beat death to it. And that's what that book is all about, Who Will Come to Your Funeral. So you've got to beat death to it. And the way to beat death to it is to have foresight. And this HMT is about foresight. The ability to see into the future and build into the future. And because of what you are seeing in the future, you are building today. Because what you do today is what you will reap tomorrow. So that's why yesterday, maybe some of you didn't remember that, but I told you, talking about, I don't know whose example, I mean, I was using my example that if Pastor Sunday dies now, what will be said about him? You people said some things. Then I say, okay, use that to write about yourself. So that could inspire you to get a vision for your life. If I die in the next, okay, I don't want to die now. I'm sure all of you don't want to die now. But just assume that if you die in the next 10 years, what will be written or said about you? Or let's say if God favors you and you have another 25 years more to live. So you have to work now towards that goal that by the time I die, I want to leave this legacy. So that should inform how you come up with your goal. What kind of impact do you want to have? What amount of impact do you want to have? Then we can arrange and organize your time that is left and your life around that goal that you want to achieve by the time you die. So you'll be moving towards it on a daily basis. So instead of you to be waiting that one day will come when you will fulfill that goal, one day never comes when you have everything you need to fulfill the goal. No. Unfortunately, many people are thinking like that. I will have a breakthrough, then fulfill my goal. I will use it to fulfill my goal. Or I will have God will open some doors, then I will begin to perform. It never really happens like that. Life is lived in the moment. So it is the piece of elephant that you eat every day. Even though you ate just one piece today, the elephant is still left. I mean, there is still a lot left, but you will not realize it by the time it finishes. If you just keep on doing one and the same thing. Just keep on eating one piece at a time, and one day you get there, the elephant is no more there. That's how life purpose also is supposed to be, dealt with. So it doesn't matter how big it is. If you will break it down and begin to take it one by one, every day at a time, fulfilling your purpose for the day, you will discover that, by the time you are 25, in the next 25 years, you have even done more than what you have started out with. But if you don't start out with anything, with any goal, aspiration, global purpose, general plan, there is nothing to divide. So you're just living, you're just existing. So you must, even if it's just an approximate vision or purpose or goal, you have something before you. Even if it's going to be an ambition, but let that ambition be based on God desire, and on your own passion, on your whatever you have discovered within you. So build, even because if you are going to be waiting that God should drop a number in your heart, specifically, you might never get to. But come up with one. But just make sure that you do it in line with your calling, your passion. Which will ultimately glorify God, which is the value, mission, the purpose. So the first stage. So we could have something from which you start, arranging your life around something. Your life has got to be lived around something, and it has to be around your life global purpose. And it has to be, everything you do in life has to have explanation. And that explanation has to be, I was created to do this. So if I go to anywhere, it's because it's working in line with that global purpose. If I go to get a job to work somewhere, it's not because I have salary. It's because that is also enhancing this my global purpose. If I'm going to have any relationship, it's because it's helping, it's working towards this global purpose. If I'm going to go to school or study anything, it's because it's working towards me. So when you live like that, every book you read is helping you to move towards that purpose. Every program you watch is helping you to enhance, to move, to get to your global purpose. Every friendship you come up with, you make, is helping you to move towards you. So life itself has to be organized around only that one thing, your global purpose. So you are not doing anything accidentally, chaotically, unthoughtfully. Everything has an explanation. And that explanation has to be your life purpose. Not parents' and relatives' opinion. Not religious demand of the society. Not ambition to impress anybody. Not friends' invitation. Not the demand for survival or to make a living. But it should all be because of this. And when you, even if you say, okay, let's now go back to the question of Sister Adiola, who said, a lot of good people who love God would like to live like this, but they can't because they have family to feed, children to send to school. And so they cannot let Uncle Sam go. Or Uncle Sam cannot let them go. So how do we deal with that? Which means they are working so much, 8 hours, that basically nothing is left. They don't have any time or energy or strength to do anything else or to pursue their life purpose. So what do we do in that sense, in that case? Well, you've got to solve the most important question first. And that most important question first is to know what you are living for. First of all, make a separation between what you are doing to make a living make a separation between what you are doing to make a living, which is your job, and who you are by God, what you are sent here to do by God Almighty. Please make that separation. Everything starts with your own awareness. When you are not confused, then you already, that is 50% of liberation. So when you are not thinking, the only thing you have is your job. The only thing you have to do is to work. If you are thinking the only thing you have to do is to work, you are already lost and forgotten. So if you don't even know that you are called to do something, that you are sent here on a mission, but you are just living and being driven by the need to survive and get, to go to job. That is how most people live. They might have an idea somewhere inside that this is not what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to do something more. But they don't know it and they don't have it defined. They are lost. That is a stage of hopelessness, that you are lost. It means you are just a spoke in the wheel. You are just the fuel that is fueling the capitalist system, somebody's system. You are just the broom, a stick in the broom that is being used to, maintain the system. So you are lost. You have been sent by God from heaven to the earth to carry out a mission, but you are lost when you got here. Because you want to feed your children, you want to send your family to school, your children to school. So that is a terrible state. That is much more terrible because you think then you want to compensate that by going to church, by trying to be active in church. Those are still being lost. That's another deception that is taking you also into the wheel, into the vicious circle. So those are just attempts to compensate, but you are still lost. So first of all, you need to recover yourself. So recovering yourself is to be aware that I am more than just working for somebody. I am more than just eating. I am more than just waking up in the morning, going to the restroom, and go to work. That is so annoying, shameful, and painful. Nobody is sent to this world to eat, first of all, to work, eat, and then release everything and flush it away when you go to the restroom. You first of all work for it, then you eat it, then you go and release it and flush it away, and then go back to work. And then come back and eat, then go release it in the morning, and then flush it away, then go back again and work some more. Consume it, go and release it, and then flush it away. And then it's 10 years, then you still keep on going. And that, if that is the only thing you are seeing right now, no, that's what I call lost, totally lost. It's bad case. So we need to comfortably wake you up. Awareness has to come. So first of all, we must stop that vicious circle that you are only here on earth to be going to some factory or to some offices. Give your whole life of 8 hours a day over there. Then feel compensated, an illusion that I've eaten, at least I have food to eat. But not really thinking that in the morning you're going to release that thing. Now it's called waste. Everything in 7 hours becomes waste, you flush it away. And then you run back the next day. To do another 8 hours time. Then years upon years, years after years. So we need to first of all stop that vicious circle. And the sign that you are free from that one is to at least get to the place of definition, to know that at least this is not my life. That one is not my life. That one, yes, maybe I am being forced to do it right now because of the condition and situation of life. I'm not going to be there for long, and I'm not going to be there forever. I know something. I know I'm for something better. I'm made for something greater. I am sent here on my own assignment, and I've identified it. And if you have not yet identified, remember the procedure we gave you to do to identify? Go ahead and look for that book, Who Am I and Why Am I Here? Then look for the video they are on YouTube. All these videos called Calling and Purpose series. Those are my teachings. Put them together. Either if you could find solitude, go and just be alone by yourself. Listen as many times as possible. Answer all the questions. Read the book as well. Identify yourself. At least define yourself. Find out where your passion is. What are your potentials? What are your abilities? Build a plan like this. Put your life in order. Gather your life together. From the area of mysticism, life is almost like mysticism. But with this pyramid, you are taking your life away from mysticism, mystic to concrete. So your life mission is defined. Then your global purpose is defined. Then your general plans are available. Then we begin to put it on concrete, step by step action of what to do. So let's say you are still working. Let's say you are still working in that Uncle Sam because you are forced to right now because of the situations of life. There are two ways to try to resolve the situation. Number one is make sure that job and that Uncle Sam is not totally owning you. It's not owning you. It's not owning you. Which means, when you work somewhere, sometimes they try to possess you, to own you. So, you cannot even succeed in thinking outside of their box. They make you to just think about them, to work. Even when you are at home, you are working for them. So make sure they don't own you. That's the first step. Which means, even if necessary, you might still be working there, but if necessary, you might need to negotiate another term of work. Or you might need to even reduce your work hours. Basically, I'm just trying to say, get your life back from them, be the owner, be in charge. And if it is church that is also owning you like that, controlling you, you cannot do anything, you cannot think with your head. Get your life back. That's just the initial thing. Even if it is your family, sometimes family also own you like that. The mama. You've got to cook, you didn't call, you can't think straight because all of them are owning you. So get your life back, first of all. Put everything in perspective. Put the job where it belongs. Put the family somewhere also. But put yourself as the one who is managing all those things, not them managing you, not them pushing you around. Be the owner. That is just the first thing you've got to do, your very first step. Get your life back. So once you break the control of job over your life, make sure you have a plan. The way to plan to come out of that job is what I wrote about in Stop Working for Uncle Sam. But that Stop Working for Uncle Sam, people just think it's a sensational book. It's more than sensation. It has steps of how to arrange your liberation, your liberty from Uncle Sam, if you follow the steps. It has program. Then you could add to that, to come out of Uncle Sam also, why losing your job, so that if you come out, you will know what to do. So why losing your job is the best thing to happen to you. Combine those together. Then take another one, stop looking for a job. So those 3 books, combine them together, you see a lot of wisdom, and they will help you to plan your exit. But don't just go ahead and resign if you don't have anything to fall back on. So plan it. Everything has to be planned. So that is one. And before you walk out, make sure your plan is already working. So that is one thing. First of all, you are getting your life back. So, but if you still have to work, let's say you make a plan that I will still need to work for the next 2 or 3 years before I quit, because I need to save, because those books will also tell you about the saving plans. So you have your saving plans, then investment steps, and what you want to do to back up your exit. So let's say you still want to work for 3 years or 5 years, but by the time you read those books, you will know that in 3 years you'll be able to, 1, 2, 3 years, you'll be able to come out completely. So, but another thing you might want to do is, you want to now, since you've now identified your global purpose, what you are called to do on earth, you now have it. It has become your burden. So even though you are still working, but just make sure you calculate the minimum you will need to survive on. So let's say you calculate that, okay, before you are working 8 hours because you are making maximum money, but now you know money is not your Lord, because you're still going to leave it behind anyway, and then you are going to flush it into the something. So you want to just take the minimum first, or you want to work maximum to be able to save maximum. You know, it depends on your strategy. So sometimes you might want to take and say, okay, I have a year, I want to rather increase my hours of work for this 1 year. I want to work like crazy, or 2 years, but it will allow me to be able to save this amount of money, so that then I will just quit fast. Or rather, I want to quit more slowly. So instead of working 8 hours, I will be working 4 hours, because that 4 hours will afford me just the minimum that I need. So then that way, the rest of the hours that are left, 4 to another 6 hours, are left to you. And then you could be every day parallel, even though you are working, but only 4, 5, or 6 hours. Then the rest, you are controlling your life, and you are building your life parallel. Either building your life in terms of adding value, so that you will really take your life back, like Mr. Olo just said, you know, to be able to take your life back, to be able to flush out the junk that has been in you through self-education and through self-development. And then maybe then you want to use that time you gain back from Uncle Sam now to begin to build the future that you want to do. So that's it. That is the second option you want to do. But then number 3 option, if you think that the calling that God has given to you does not demand your time, your physical presence. Let's say, for example, I know that God has given me the burden that I have is to take care of widows or women or children, maybe in Africa, but I'm working in the UK or in the United States. And then that my work then become my resource. So I don't need to do it. I don't need to quit. I don't need to go because I can still work as I'm working now and still be able to arrange for my ministry to go. So that way I'm not working for the money, but I'm working for my mission. So let's say I'm making my $4,000 a month, but I know that $2,000, I'm using it to take care of all the people that I need to, if that is my mission. It's different from just being good or just giving, doing charity. Everybody does that. You give some part of your income to do some good cause. But that is not calling. But there are some things there are some times when it is your calling, you know it's your calling to do that. But you don't really have to be involved physically. But you are still doing the calling. You are still taking care of the elderly. You are still taking care of the widows. You are still taking. So then your job becomes a resource for you in that sense. Maybe at a point you would like to be on ground and do that, but meanwhile you can still keep on doing what you need to do by employing people and having representatives and still getting the job done. So then your job is your resource. You don't need to quit because you are still doing what you need to do anyway. But only you might want to build also system so that it's not just your work that sustains your vision. Your work, because if you could just work by yourself to sustain the vision, it means it is limited. So you want to build a system of how to propagate your work, how to show forth the fruits, and how to make people sure that apart from you, other people key into that vision that you have. But so there are different scenarios, but the most important thing is the awareness, first of all, that you are not created to just be like the rat, the rat race. And, people, especially in the West, it's horrible in the West, in the Western world, including Norway, unfortunately. I was very surprised when I got to Norway and I discovered that an average Norwegian has to keep on working, otherwise he cannot survive. You have to keep on working. And the reason why I'm surprised about Norway, I'm disappointed about Norway, is that Norway is number one in standard of living in the world. They have enough money, and they have enough money from in their reserves from oil, and they have enough savings. But the people are just working as if their country is not as rich. They're just working like all other people too. Okay, for example, I knew a lady in Norway that she was on pension, and she was hardly making it on a pension. And the ones that are not on pension, they are working. But, so the West is like that, capitalism. They just make sure that it's like all citizens are slaves. Germany is worse. England is bad. America is just horrible. They look at citizens, you are just to make the system work. Yeah, you are the machine. You are the machine. So they make sure that you pay bills, and because of the need to pay something, you can almost not be free anyway. They don't want you to be free. So people have to drink, people have to go to a pub or party. You have to just keep yourself alive. You don't really get to thinking about you and about your life. And so that's why vacation is a big deception in the West. Because everybody think, at least I go for vacation and come back. But you don't know that is like servicing your car. It's a service so that you serve more. It's a slavery system, So you think you go, so there are people right now in the West who are dreaming of vacation. Yes. But they don't know that the vacation they are dreaming of is They give you vacation so that you become more dedicated to the slavery. So people say, oh, I had 2 weeks vacation, I have 2 weeks vacation, oh, I have to, but it's for you to come back and give more until you die. Then when you get to pension age, they just get rid of you. You are no more needed. But they make sure that you have children, so that your children will take over where you stopped. So they have government programs just to support families.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have husband, single mothers. Just keep on giving birth, because we need people to service the system when you are all gone. So that's why the most important thing to do is that realization that no, I'm not for all this mess. I'm not a slave anymore. Then work out a system through those books that I mentioned. Yes, ma'am. Question.
You know, it's just amazing what you're teaching. I think it's something that I kind of when you talk about awareness, you know, I became aware in myself that I was like in a trap, in the rat race, and I was in a trap. And it's interesting what you say about taking your life back. And I thought to myself, how can I start taking my life back? And one of the things that I did was I stopped my permanent job, for starters. And then I went into contracting. And then I negotiated some of my hours, you know, and then I negotiated some of my work patterns so that I could work at home as well, you know, to give me some time.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so that instead of traveling, using maybe 2 hours or 1 hour to travel there, travel back, you know, I could use that time at home, you know. So even when I'm working from home, I have a periods of dead spaces that I can devote to my personal development, you know. And then I started, and then I negotiated working 4 days a week, so that I could have an extra day where I could then focus on my personal development, you know, just taking some of my life back. And then I looked at my finances, and then I thought, well, do I need a car? You know, can I do without a car so that I can have minimum expenses? Then so that my stress can, you know, my financial stress can reduce, but I can meet the basic standards so that I can focus on this. So I mean, all this is very interesting, because I can go back, start watching the videos, read the books, come up with the purpose, and you know, with the time that I have, and still work, but work so that I can manage my expenses. Does that make sense?
Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
There is another brother on our platform that did something similar. He was an IT professional working and making good money, maybe up to 5,000, 10,000 pounds sometimes. But he was working so much because he comes from Africa, and the wife also is African. They wanted to make some money, and a lot of money, and live the good life. So because IT was giving him that opportunity to make good money. But he didn't realize that he didn't have a life anymore until the wife started. You know, women feel it when the husband is always working, and you know. So she started raising alarm that we don't have a family anymore. So at the end of the day, the lady had to leave. So he lost it because he was working. You know, work is a big deal for people in the West for some reason. So he lost his family, and because he lost the family, they needed to do divorce process. So they were dividing stuff, and so I think maybe the wife left with children, had to be with the children. So the money he just lost. Yeah. So he just became very depressed, and he couldn't function because of the divorce process. It affected his performance at work. So he lost the job.
Two things.
When the divorce process was going on, he couldn't focus, so he lost the job. He was fired. And he already lost half of everything he made, and then he had to be giving to the children. So it got to a point he couldn't sustain even an apartment. So he couldn't get the wife back because she was so angry. So two choices he had to make. He either could go back to start his life again, to start all over again, go and get another IT contract, and start all over again at the rat race. He'd been thrown off the race, but he could go and start all over again. Then that was about the time he ran into the SA platform. And you know what? The first thing he heard me say, why losing your job? It could be the best thing that has happened to you. So when he listened to that, he just took a decision not to go and sign another contract. So, but he was homeless and he was jobless. So he moved back to stay with his mom. He had to move because he couldn't pay for his apartment and the expenses. So when he started listening to me, because he was under pressure, he was still doubting, should I go back and work? But he was very diligent. So he took time and listened to all my series. Then he got it. That, okay, actually, what he got was this. So actually, the best thing I have is time. And that is exactly what I didn't have because of my work. Because he discovered that actually the best thing that could happen to you in life is to have time. If you have purpose, the time is what you need. Is the greatest wealth. But because he was working all the time, it is time that he couldn't get. I don't know if you were getting it. Yes. Even to listen to it, he didn't have the time. He didn't have time for anything. So what he did is that I'm no more going to work. Because what I need now is that time. I need to learn as much as possible, read as much as possible, get my life back. I need time to even just think. So you know what this guy did? Because it was he was feeling that it was a disgrace to the mother, and it was also putting the mother on. It was a shame that the mother had to be, sustaining him. So you know what this guy did? He went to the store, to the nearby supermarket, and said, "Do you have any job at all?" They said, "Oh yeah, we only have somebody to carrying stuff. What do you call it? Those boys who, take things from the boss and take it to, what they call laborer or, huh? No, laborer. Yeah, something like that. Just to be working as a laborer, just." And he said, "Okay, I took 4 hours, so 4 hours a day." And I'm more happy. But I'm happy not because I'm doing that job. For me, it's like a shame. It's a shame and disgrace. But I'm happy that I got my time, my life back. I could just go and do 4 hours, and he put it in the morning from 5 to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. From 5 to 9, and then the whole day he has it. 5 in the morning to 9, just go do delivery and do all those things. And then he said, I have the whole day. So he started, after he got himself developed mentally, just knowledge, reading, knowledge, then he began to have ideas. So he wrote a proposal to the city. Because of my book, he got my book, Why Losing Your Job is a Blessing, and stop working for job. So he came up with a proposal to the city of how to take care of unemployment problem in the city. Then that is a contract. So he could be training city workers, city officials, and then with the young people doing seminars and training for them. Then he also started his own online financial education system, training for people. So he started building his own life according to his own passion. He had passion for finances. So he started doing provision, started doing videos, branding himself, doing stuff. It didn't give him money initially. He was still working his 4 hours until all the other things started coming out for him. But it's a stage. He understood that is a stage in life he needed to pass through. But he got the most important thing, the time that he needed to rebuild his life and to all the process. So he started forming and creating different products that he could now sell, that he could now market, that he could now use. He started having plans for how to even, contribute to the economy of his own country, to rebound, started having projects and ideas and, So that's another, just similar to your example. That's why I remember that.
And I've started business as well.
Okay, yeah. Please give her the.
And I've also tried to start some kind of online business. Of course, it's in its early stages, but it doesn't matter because I see the potential. Yeah. Just so that I could ultimately, within the next 3 to 5 years, free myself totally from Uncle Sam and follow.
No, but I am surprised the way the Western nations behave. They don't have pity or mercy even on their own citizens.
No. You're sucked in.
But there is just a little bit of the 3%. They don't even work. They control the whole thing. They just go to do board meetings and vacations.
To find out how they 84%.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
No, 97.
Yeah.
97.
To find out how the 97%
are doing it. But again, I cannot emphasize enough that the most important is the awareness stage. At least you should, when you are awake, you can now begin to plan your way out. But there is no way you will escape a preliminary time of self-denial, kind of.
Yes.
There must be that period of when you have to just endure. Even if you invest somewhere, you still have to wait till the investment comes back. Yeah. Even before you even get idea of what to do, sometimes you'll be suffering, but at least you are on the way to getting your life back. Yes. And to begin to live the way God wanted you to live, the way and living for what God wants you to live for.
Yes. Living for a
higher God purpose than yourself and just survival. Because people die every day without actually getting to start life. They don't even get to even discovering what we are talking about now. Okay, so let's continue our class.
Example, how much time do I have left to live?
So let's start with that. For you to get your life back and to begin to live for a purpose, just face it. Look at the mirror. Look at the person in the mirror, and tell yourself realistically, how much time do I think I still have? But you could take the threshold of 70. God said we have at least we have a chance of living to be 70. So take that as your threshold and just say, okay, if whatever your age is right now, let me just take 70. Even if you come to live beyond that, let's say 80 or 90, that still doesn't mean that you are living that much, because from 70 you are not as strong anymore. You are weaker. So most likely you will only be productive till 70. And some are not even productive till that time. But if you are 70 right now, then go ahead and plan also, and just plan for the best. So, and just hope for the best, yes. So let's say you are 50 now, you can plan till 70. You can still plan for more than that, but at least in your mind, you give yourself realistic projection that, okay, I have another 20 years to live. So what would I like to achieve for that next 20 years left? How much impact would I want to have in my area of calling and passion? So you give yourself some projections. Then let's put that in plan. And let's break down together till one day. So on every daily basis, we'll now teach you how to be eating the elephant piece by piece, so that by that time you are 70, it will be done. So let's read this again.
How much time do I have left to live? Let's take a maximum of 70 years that God gives us for life on earth. And in that time, I have to run a system that will allow me to create a movement that will live forever.
So this is the assignment that I gave for myself. That you don't just want to do something right now. Anything you want to do now, we are talking about being productive and leaving a mark and making your life count. You see, God says that He wants us to bring forth fruits that will abide. That's why I talk about living for the next 300 years or 500 years. It's good that whatever you are doing right now, let it abide. You know, for example, if I'm investing in children, I know it will abide because they will live beyond me. And then their own children, their own course of destiny, their own lineage will be changed just because I contributed. Because that child will get married, he will have children, and I'm the one who brought him out of that poverty to begin to have children, go to school, something like that. So whatever we are going to do and whatever you are going to do, or you want to invent products like Steve Jobs, well, make sure that it's a product that will abide. Like my son and his friends, let me show you. I don't know if my wife has even seen this. So he's finishing his university education in summer, but before he finishes university education, he's trying to go by these things that we are teaching him, that I'm teaching you now. So he's inventing a product with his friends. He has 2 other friends. And the product they have invented, let me show you. They themselves, just young people, he's 21 now. Yeah, he's going to be 22 this year. 21, he's 21. So look at the product they have invented. So they're just young people. They are not even inventors. He's studying law. But he understands that to be working as a lawyer, it has to be Uncle Sam. So even though he's still in school, but when he finishes school, he's going to get a job, but he's already thinking ahead. So of inventing something. So they just went and did research and worked on themselves and to see what are the things that the world will need. How does technology go? What are the directions technology is going to? And what are the products they could come up with? So they came up with a product for themselves that will, because he's a young man, 21-year-old. But for me, this product is just young men's product. Yeah. So yeah. So it's a startup. Yes, it's a startup. They think that this thing doesn't exist in the market now. And to invest is not a big deal. I mean, to invent is not a big deal. Just find something that is already invented and improve on them. Yes. So yeah, and then they have invented it already. It's done already, and they are going to go to China and get a company in China. That's what they are working on now, to do mass production. And since it's going to be the only one in the market, they're the first ones to do this. Then they want to hit it big, and then that's going to make his money. And while he's still working, you want me to show you guys?
They can keep improving on it.
Yeah. Okay, let me see. So. Wireless earpiece. You can play it again when it's finished.
Oh, just like Bluetooth?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No wires.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Yeah, but this is different. You ask different, yes. They don't have, this one is not existent. Yeah, there's something like this, yes. But they have something that is make it totally different or non-existent. Yeah.
Okay.
This thing charges.
And then
It charges, yeah.
So the charger is not directly on the earpiece.
Yeah.
On the case.
Yeah, the case.
Yeah. So you just put it in
On the case, and when you lock it, while you are putting it up, it's charging. Yeah. So it's just about you got it. So it's just about thinking. It's just about thinking, yes, improving on what has been done. But the foresight is what I'm talking about, because what is his own calling? Why did he read? Why did he read law? He said his own passion is to be able to, because he saw they were, even before I started, but he went to Africa to study when he was 11 and saw so much poverty and people in need. So he said, I want to fight for justice because people are being deprived and nobody. So, but for him to fight for people and be able to, he needs, if he's going to be working as a job, 8-hour job, in law firm, it will not be free ever to be able to be fighting, to live for what he feels is his life purpose. So he wants to create a means, income stream. Not even looking at me, he's not even waiting for me. He doesn't even, as if he doesn't have father or mother or anything. He's thinking ahead about his own future. So he wants to set up that stream of income, so that he, instead of working, he will be working, but working for the destiny, the purpose for which God. So that's just an example of how we can reset our lives.
You have a book called Mind Shift.
I'm writing it now.
Somebody said it.
Yes.
So this is a mind shift, what you're teaching us. It's like a mind shift.
I have a book like that, but it's not yet published. It's written. We finished writing it. So you are right. Maybe this year I will release it. But you are feeling this mind shift?
I'm already feeling my mind is shifting.
This HMT is a blessing.
This should be taught on campus.
Sorry?
This should be taught in schools.
No. School.
It should be taught.
But if they teach you this in school, how will you go and service the system?
Yeah, they won't.
They teach you, what they teach in schools is for you to be good enough to manage for us, for the 3%. You just need to sustain the system, service the system, not to be able to bypass the system. But what you are talking about is this should be taught in school so that nobody will go to work. So that you begin to work for your purpose, and then who will work for the system? Who will manage the system? Who will sustain the system? The capitalist people don't want that. And they are the ones who set up the schools, the system. So, okay, here we go. So just think about how many years more you have to live, and think about the amount of impact you want to leave. It doesn't matter how big it is. We will help you. I will tell you how to help you break that down, so that every day you make sure you'll be able to touch it and be able to do, you'll be able to bring it to pass on a daily basis, even without being engaged with your vision and your mission 100%. But at least you will have time for it now. since you are awake and you are aware, instead of you just to be living in the rat race, at least you can now consciously know that, okay, even though I'm still in the rat race a little bit, but the rat race is no more commanding me. I'm also now parallel, at least engaged in my future, doing what God has called me here for and really bringing something to pass. So my life now is not totally a waste, but I'm also, at least I've started doing something in the area of my calling and destiny.
Goals must be achieved before 40. It is necessary.
Ideally, before 40, everybody should be settled. So if you have children, or teenagers, you've got to begin to open their eyes that I did it. Before I was 40, at 40 I was ready to die. I actually came to the church and said, now I'm 40, I know I'm not going to die because I already know how long I'm going to live and when I'm going to die. So, and I needed to know how long I'm going to live and when I'm going to die, because my life is such that I'm in danger all the time. So I think because of that, God needed to let me know so that I would not worry about anybody killing me or something. Anyway, so I know how long I'm going to die. But I told my church members already, I came to church, it's recorded, that at 40, at this age, I'm ready to die now. Because I was ready to die, because I had done what would make me not to be ashamed to meet God. Yeah. But I had set up, I know I didn't finish everything I would like to do, but I know I had set up the process. Sometimes it's not about what you physically can be able to do yourself, but what you put in motion, what you are able to set in motion. So I knew at 40 I had already set in motion all kind of systems that will live forever. So that is the kind of thing I'm talking about. If you are less than, okay, let me just justify that for you. If 70 is the average age that we are all supposed to live for, you can live beyond that, but you're already weak. So 70, let's take 70 as the threshold. So if 70 is the average lifespan we all have, then think about this. If you are 35, half of your life is gone. What is half? If I take this piece of paper, this is a whole. This is a whole paper. So half is, this is no more whole. Half is here, half is here. Now you are only left with this. So where is the second half? For most people, they don't know. They know it's gone, but they didn't exchange it for anything. See, the way life is supposed to be lived is that the life and days that are going like that are supposed to be exchanged for concrete products that you could point out to and say. So at 40 years old, you must already have so much product. Just like with this, my children now, with my son now that I spoke about. 21, he already has product. Where is your 21 years? Look at it. Then by the time, if it is big and they sell, you will be having millions in the bank. So this 21 or 22 or 23 years is not, he can point out to a lot of things that he has exchanged that 21 for something. Just like I'm 50 now, I've exchanged those years for a whole lot of things. I can point out to where my 50 years. You say, where is your 50 years? He's here. I'm not children or not, wife, or because dogs and pigs can do better than that. So I'm not talking about wife or children or things, but I'm talking about product that will benefit humanity, something beyond yourself, something beyond because you've got to live for something beyond yourself, something bigger than yourself, something that is benefiting God, humanity. So if at 35 you're only left with half, then what do you want to tell me? When are you then waiting for? What do you want to tell me you are waiting for when half is gone of your life? You want to tell me what are you waiting for now? So why 40 then? Why should I decide that 40 is when you must have, done enough to say, yes, I'm not afraid to die? Because by the time you are 50, go to the internet and look for the statistics. People die 2 times the possibility of dying before 50 and after 50. After 50, possibility of sudden death is high, much more higher. 2 or 3 times higher than before you are 50. What I'm trying to say is that if you live your life purpose for beyond 50, anything can happen. So people who are not sick of diabetes before, at 50, the risk to get sick just from nowhere increases dramatically and you become weak. And you are not sick of cancer before, but at 50, most people who get sick of cancer, if 20% of people below 50, just as an example, I don't know the figure, but if it's only 20% of people who are sick of cancer below 50, but after 50, the 80% of people get sick of cancer. And no one of you can guarantee that. You cannot say because I'm a Christian, even Christians get sick. Then heart attack is another big issue. And if people have heart attack also below 50, but it's just like 10% of people who have heart attack before 50. But once you are 50, from 50 upward, it's 90%. So if you are now saying, I have time, beyond 40, you don't. And another factor is that after 40, you begin to know where your heart is located in your body. They don't need to teach you in school that one again. The body itself will be telling you that I'm here. I need attention. A lot of health issues begin to arise after 40. So you are not just worrying about what you want to worry about. There are a lot of other things that will be making you to worry about them without your consent. You don't want to think about them or worry about them, but they will say, okay, no, I'm not allowing you to think about that and worry about me. Do you know that personally, before I was 33, I never knew where my heart was. I was always wondering, is it here or here? Yeah. I didn't even know if it was in my leg or in my head or in anywhere. Yes, I didn't even feel it. I never felt it before. Even when you run like that? No, I never felt. I never even feel it. My heart was. I never even knew where it was. Just like my leg or hand, I never even knew there was anything in the chest area. Wow. No, that's this energy I had. Never sick, never. But when I was 33, that was the first reminder that I was not going to be young forever. Then from 40, I had to begin to think about having a break. I never thought that there was any need for break before. So if you really want to be smart, the Bible says that teach us, O Lord, to number our days. So if you and apply wisdom. So the wisdom of numbering your days, believe me. If you're a younger person and you are lucky to have been saved before you are 40, put everything into it. Put all the time, all the investment, all the studies that you need to put into it to make sure that you set forth everything. You put a whole process on the race to just live the rest of your life as free, no pressure. Because it's more difficult for an old person to carry luggage or luggages. So carry your own burden while you are young when you have, and it cannot be older than 40. Make sure you carry your burden when you are still having the strength for it. Old people, they are not the best to carry. You see, even if you look at the natural life, all the Olympic champions, the football and something, they retire before 40. They can't perform on the premium. Why? Because it is organism, it is nature that dictates that to them. All these footballers, they still want to be on the front line, but they cannot just perform to the utmost anymore. They have the desire, they have the knowledge, they have the experience, but they can't. Some of them are retired at 30. So, if you really want to have that heart of wisdom, to number your days, target 40 to be the time you will finish everything. But if you are just getting to know this at 40, or at 50, or at 60, then just see yourself as 20. In your mind. Imagine that. Pretend. The body wants to pretend, eh? The body can pretend. Convince yourself otherwise. And plan for the next 20-25 years. So let's read this again.
Goals must be achieved before 40. It is necessary to achieve our global life purpose before we are 40. Start the process. Stop working for ourselves and begin to share the experience.
So by the time you are 40, if you, like me, at 40, all those plans you saw, I put them together at about 32. At 40, I was not working on them anymore. I just set things in process. So that's why I could walk out from the church. We still have the church. Some of you were there on Sunday, but that's just one. We have 40 in the city alone. 400 in the country. So, but I'm no more in church. I'm free. I'm doing greater stuff. So God was able to talk to me about new ventures. And these are just additional. These are just, benefits. These are just like, what I saw at that point, I was ready to die at 40. At 40, I've done, every other thing is a bonus. I don't know if you get it. So yes, you could still live beyond 40, and you will definitely live beyond 40. But the way your life is supposed to be is that after 40, you should be training others. Passing down experience to them. And conquering new mountains and new territories. Being like Caleb, give me this mountain. I've made my impact, I've made a record for myself, but I'm still conquering mountains. But I'm not obliged to now. I'm just doing it as and God helped me to do that. But in my case, I've got a great advantage. God helped me because I got saved at 19. And when I got saved at 19, 6 months later, God delivered me from church. I only attended church for 3 months. 3 months I was going once a month. Then another 3 months I was going every week. So maybe less than 6 months or 3 months, 6 months maximum I only attended church. So 6 months, after 6 months of salvation, at 19, I got delivered from church. And that's the greatest thing to happen to me. Because when I came to Russia, there was no church. Only God. So that's helping to do personal relationship. I could only look for God and look for Him to teach me and to. So I got all these things. Thank God I was not in church. I would have been buried there. So I was able to develop all these things just working with God. So, if you are lucky, like me, yeah. But if there is no more communism where God could send you, but at least, you could have knowledge and teach people, and maybe other young people, not to repeat the mistake their parents have made. Not to allow religion to cut down their destiny. Yeah, so have we finished reading it?
It is necessary to achieve our global life purpose before we are 40. Start the process, stop working for ourselves, and begin to share the experience. At the age of 50, there's another challenge. To work on the next generation.
You see what I'm doing? You see that most of the things I'm just passing things down to you guys, and most of you didn't know what I'd done before for it. But at 50, that's how I'm living now. Just working on you people, raising new generation of people, passing down the experience, inspiring people, raising up reformers and activists. Because I have so much experience, I've done so much. Now I have something to teach and share with people.
At the age of 50...
And I'm only 50. 52 this year.
At the age of 50, there's another challenge. To work on the next generation, to create a layer of people who will live for centuries. Time after 50 years should be considered as a bonus, because after 50, people die in 4 times more than before 50.
Yep. So I'm living for the bonus, no pressure. Conquering new territories, no pressure. Some people are saying, oh, he's looking for popularity. No, you don't know me then. Oh, he's looking for fame. Wow. Too much fame already. Just enjoying life. So people are saying, oh, they will kill you. I was ready to die from 40. I already have 10 years, 12 years extra. I was already done. God, everything now is. So I have no more fear of anything. Oh, they are saying bad things about you. Good for them. Nothing can affect me. Some people they write me and say, you lose our respect because of your political opinions. We don't respect you anymore. Wow. So the fact that I don't even know you exist. You're making it yourself more important than you thought. How could you? So you think that your respect is giving me something? I don't even know you exist. Talk less of knowing that you respect me or you don't respect me. I don't even know you exist. Did your respect for me make me become who I became? I became who I became without your respect. I don't even know you exist. You are not existing. You are not here. Talk less of me to consider your opinion. So stop doing these political things. Stop campaigning for Buhari because you will lose your respect. Did you give it to me for me to lose it? Before who? So when you have lived right, you cannot be cornered. You cannot be manipulated. Are you not afraid? No, I was dead already. I'm dead and gone from 40. Everything else is bonus. Great life. No fear, no anticipation, is it anticipation? No anxiety, no. Or we go to the internet. They write all kind of things about me. They do video. Do you think it affects me? Do it, enjoy. Use my name. Talk bad and create for yourself at least some image. Get yourself some popularity, some likes, and some comments. Say anything you want about me. Go and say, paint me bad. But you can never affect me. You can never paint me bad. You can never make me, but I'm already who I am.
I think this at this stage, good or bad, your influence,
I don't even care.
Your influence can only grow.
It can only grow, yeah. Take advantage. Put some scandal out there. Put some rumors out there. At least you'll get some likes and some comments. At least somebody will get to know you, that you are the one who did it. But it doesn't affect me. Because I'm too focused. I'm living within my vision. I'm not living outside of it. And all the talk and everything is outside of it. I'm the one creating history. I'm the one creating news and stories. So enjoy. So you can enjoy life, enjoy the process, as you are, fulfilling God's purpose for your life too.
Goals for the next 10 years, long term for the world.
Okay, this is my example, right? Okay. This was, like I told you, this was like when I was 32, all these things were put together. Okay.
2,000 to 4,000 churches. Influence through world TV on 100 million households.
Yes.
10,000 churches around the world. Influence and reformation. Bible schools on all continents. Club 1,000 on all continents.
Okay. Yes.
Big miracle services around the world.
Okay. Now, 2,000 to 4,000 churches. Do I have them now? No. We've only started 2,700 churches. But I don't care. These are lifetime goals. But I've started the process. The process is going. So you see, these plans doesn't mean that you have to achieve them dot on dot. But the process is going. Now we're only at 2.7, threshold. But I don't even need to do anything. It's going. The process is going. Then 10,000 churches around the world, the same. Influence through TV, millions, and we don't even have TV. We used to have TV program those days. Now it's internet, it's Facebook. Am I counting it? No. I'm just doing, the most important thing is for me to, these things are to give you directions. For you to know you are doing the right thing. I'm not counting the numbers. But I know I'm doing the right thing. I'm moving in the right direction. And it's, I'm eating the what? The elephant, piece by piece. I planned it out and I'm living it. I'm buried, I'm not out of it. I'm in my vision, living in my vision.
Goals for the next 10 years, long term for Ukraine. 1,000 to 2,000 churches.
You see that all these things I'm talking about, they are coming from the list of my general plan. Yeah, general plan. Okay. You see, I'm coming from this. So it is this so everything is coming out of the order. So when I go talking about this plan, so these are all being broken down. They are being broken down further with time limit now. 25 years, 10 years, 1 year. Okay, so just for you to know that it's all connected. one is coming out of the other. Okay.
Goals for the next 10 years, long term for Ukraine. 1 to 2,000 churches, 300 refuge towns, 5,000 non-profit organizations, 1 million members of God's embassy, 20 million influence. Goals for the next 5 years, intermediate for Ukraine. 100 churches, God's embassy with 1,000 members in Ukraine. 2, 100 to 1,000 reformers and activists. 3, 200 to 300 refuge towns. 4, 1,000 churches. Specification. 1.
So these are more details now. So details are getting more details.
Yeah.
Okay.
100 churches, God's embassy with 1,000 members in Ukraine. 1 social
church,
local church, and missionary church.
Yeah.
2, 1,000 churches, social churches, local churches, new churches, and missionary churches. 3, 200 to 300 refuge towns, small rehabilitation houses, adaptation apartments, refuge towns, and leaders.
You know, you don't need to bother about this. These are specific to me, yeah. But you know for yourself, just for an example for you. Okay.
Example: how does Pastor Sunday achieves his goals? Each plan must have a triple protection. For example, the goal of the pastor 100 churches with 1,000 members. The pastor makes main focus on his team, his core team. 2 Bailey options, the regional pastors and pastors in Kiev. Responsibility of the members of Pastor Sunday's team. Pastor Sunday teaches them how to turn their local churches into churches with 1,000 members. Each of them takes part in Pastor Sunday's vision for 5 years. Important principle, backup system. For example, the goal, 100 churches with 1,000 members. 100 must include local and social churches. The main focus will be on local churches, 100 local churches with 1,000 members.
You say we only are supposed to have 100 churches with 1,000, but we have 100 local, 100 social. That's already backup right there. Social is backing up the local, even though the main focus is 100 local churches.
2 concepts of the church, local church and social church. There are programs of creating local churches with 1,000 members developed by Pastor Andrew Bellet.
Those are just by team members.
Yes. 100 God embassy churches with 1,000 members in Ukraine. Social, local, and missionary churches. According to our calculations, in 5 years, we will have at least 200 churches with 1,000 members, and with social churches, it will be 500 churches.
You see, but even though we are planning, our plan is 200, but we made provision for 500 because of backup plans. So that's almost backup 3 times. But you know, these are just our own thing. But you will look into now on this area. These are all intellectual. You do research, you break it down. You are a better specialist in your own area of calling. So you have to study how the things are done there, write them down, plan them out. You know, you are moving towards these things.
2, 1,000 reformers.
And you see, in this long term something, you already see names started coming up. Team members started coming up. So because there are people, team members who are responsible for these concrete things, you know, concrete territory. It's not just these are names now. The amount, the figures, so this is getting much more detailed now. So it's not just you alone now. You have sold it out to your team members, and Okay.
Number 2, 1,000 reformers and activists. The members of Pastor's team has taken responsibility for about 2,000 reformers and activists. Now they have already more than 3,000 active followers. Pastor Sunday's mentorship group has already 600 activists, and they also have their own home groups.
So even though we are supposed to have 1,000, but you say 2,000 plus 3,000, that is already 5,000. So we are backup. Those are all backups.
Number 3, 200 to 300 refuge towns, small rehabilitation houses, adaptation
so those
apartments.
are the places we take those guys from the drug addicts, the alcoholics from the street. They go and live in those places. Like one of those places where you went to, for example, yes. Okay.
Small rehabilitation houses, adaptation apartments, refuge towns, leaders. The pastors.
So these are all tactics and methods and to reach the goal. So this my goal, or is being duplicated many times, so that there is no. So that I've already built a system that cannot give a room for any failure, because it's already backup, duplicated. So it's automatically being. So I'm not bothered by that anymore. So people wonder, how can you not be doing church? You doesn't have church anymore. Anyway, I'm not into that kind of talk. I've already built such a system. You cannot. That's why I could be free to be doing what I'm doing. As we are talking right now, thousands of people are doing all kind of things. Like all those people you saw. Do I know what they're doing? Am I there to control? I don't have well. System is working. You've gone to 4 different, okay, you see? And there are many that are too far from here to be taking it. And I don't even know where they are. I don't even know where you are. I don't control anything. The system. You've been to 4 and I've never been to any one of them. Okay.
The pastor's team members have already taken responsibility for opening 610 refuge towns.
See, we needed 200 to 300, but we already have 600 because you have a team. That's the advantage of building teams.
Multi-way problem solving. Retreat for the leaders of rehabilitation centers.
We call retreat is HMT. That's what we call retreat in our language. Yeah. HMT, like we are doing HMT for you now. That's we do. I did HMT for all my people. Why is it that I'm no more worried like this? I've done HMT for them every weekend. Every weekend I do for 2,000 HMT people HMT. No, 2,000 a month, but every weekend we do 2 times, from Monday to Thursday, then from Friday to Monday. So all through we are doing HMT. That's how all these people are so, they know what they're doing. They've got their own unions. So we build system for them. We train them. Okay.
Multi-way problem solving. Retreat for the leaders of rehabilitation.
HMT, yeah.
Yeah, or HMT for the leaders of rehabilitation centers showed that they will be able to open about 2,700 refuge towns within 5 years.
Even though our goal was
300.
You see, but because of the training and the system you have set in place, it's just going 2,700.
Rehabilitation centers alone will bring up 10,000 ministers, and Pastor Sunday's goal to educate 50,000 ministers within 5 years.
You see, just one branch will give us 10,000, and then I still have 12 more other branches that are also taking 10,000. So you've already broken everything down. You've already overachieved. But we're not paying attention to that. We just keep on doing what we need to do one by one daily.
Number 4, 1,000 local churches, social, local, new churches, and missionary churches. The pastor's team members have already taken responsibility for 2,100 churches.
So you distribute it among your members. That they are the ones taking responsibility. But it's their own vision now, because we don't have denomination here. So but everybody's mission. But since they are doing their own vision. But since it all came out of you, automatically by fulfilling their own vision, they are also fulfilling your own vision. Even though I don't put them under me and say, do my something. No, they are all just doing their own thing, but that way, the general vision of everybody is being fulfilled. Their own, my own. Even though I wanted 1,000, see how many? 2,000, over 2,000 is done.
How is it done? Central Church continues to open 10 new churches each year. The new church opens up its daughter church. Subtotal, long-term plans of Pastor Sunday are being accomplished. Long-term plans of Pastor Sunday for 5 years are being accomplished. Pastor Sunday's complementary plans.
That's like backup.
If we divide Pastor Sunday's global goal of 500 million.
You see, now this is important, division. So whatever figure you had, you want to touch maybe 500 people, you have to divide them by how many years you have, and then go to every month, and okay. Go ahead.
If we divide Pastor Sunday's global goal of 500 million saved lives by 10,000 churches, it will be 50,000 new church ministers. If we divide 500 million by 50,000 ministers, which are planned to be trained, the number of open churches will be 10,000. 10,000 churches equals 500 million saved.
Did you see the calculation?
If only use this instrument,
only this is just only one instrument. But apart from church, if you remember, so through church alone, I would have finished my 500. I would have been able to accomplish my.
Go forward.
Oh, forward. 500,000 people. That's just through church alone.
Forward.
No.
Forward.
Yeah? No. It's here.
You passed it when you...
No. Okay, so planting churches is just one. And planting churches alone would have given me that 500 million. But apart from them, see how many things I still have. Resources to use. You remember this is what I'm after 500 million. But that one is already reached only by one of the points. Then all of that are just backups. But that's what system does for you. That system. Planning, system, yes. Structures. Where are we? Are we here?
Yeah.
Okay, so we finished long-term plan already. So this is the long-term, then we will still go to short-term now. Short-term will be more detailed, but I guess that will be in the evening. So let me hear your feedback. What will you people say? I want to hear your... Of course, you have to go and listen to this again and again and study it. Give him the microphone. Let him...
To me, I'm just like, wow. I'm just discovering the power of sitting down and making a plan.
75%.
Yes,
I told you.
Yes.
If you could do that, you got 75% already done.
Because just from one method, you were able to hit that number that you're looking for.
Right.
So it just lets us know that
plan and system is the whole thing.
Because when I look at the way I was doing it, I was more or less there was no plan, there was no structure.
Just enthusiasm, zeal.
Zeal, just running with zeal. And it just lets us know that whatever we are doing, we must always, just like the Bible says, we should count the costs and see how much. So it just opens our eyes to see the importance of making sure that we sit down and we plan and we strategize to see how it can become possible. So, anyone else?
Oh yeah, I mean, like I've been telling everyone, I've come down from the euphoria of having to meet Pastor Matthew for the first time, and I'm now, yeah, because now I'm now at the level of having to see the work involved. Yes. You know, we're all called. I've now come to understand that every human being that turns up in this life has a mission, and then for you to achieve that mission, you have to put that work in. You have to plan. So right now, I'm in the level of, okay, so what does it entail? What do I have to do? You know, what do I have to? I'm not even bothered. I don't know what my purpose is yet, but I'm not even bothered. I know how to solve that problem. But I've gone to the next stage of, what do I need to start doing? What's the work involved? See the planning. You know, I have to just start planning, put the work in, get the time, reclaim the time from wherever it is I'm wasting it on, and just put my nose to the grind. Everything I've been writing in my notes are just action plans to myself, just like you told me, Pastor Nero. So I have action plans of what I need to do, the work I have to put in, because there is a lot to do. There is a lot to do. And when we come out of here, back into our normal lives, we have to replicate the intensity, you know, the intensity we've learned here, because there is a lot, guys. There is a lot to do. A lot to do.
I just want to say that we've been saying Uncle Sam, Uncle Sam, Uncle Sam. But we've also identified the major cause or the major thing that led to will I use the word destruction of our life? And that we have identified as church.
Religion.
Church and religion. Now, you do yourself a great disservice if you go back and you still walk into that trap that you have identified that is the major cause of your delay in life. Because when we say Uncle Sam, the church is also Uncle Sam. Yeah, the church is Uncle Sam. It's even a worse form of Uncle Sam. Because if you look at it, like you said, we all have come into this world with a mission.
The African church.
Yes, with a mission and a purpose. But if you look at the church, especially the Nigerian church, they use you to fulfill their own ambition, not even vision. And they don't allow you to fulfill yours. So who is worse?
And their vision has got nothing to do with God.
You understand? Uncle Sam, at least Uncle Sam will pay you a peanut at the end of the month.
Compensation.
And Uncle Sam will only use 8 hours of your time and pay you for that 8 hours. When you go back home, you have the time to actually use the rest of the hours, as from 5 or as from 6. But what does the church give you? Nothing. But you even pay the church while you are slaving for the church.
Wow.
So it will be idiotic. It will be foolish. Honestly, you need to be blind after listening to such a message and still walk back into that church just because of what will people say. I'm not sure you had a head if you would do that, honestly, because I just pray you get that book. I know kingdom first, church second, so you know that the church, I don't know how to put this, the church, you are the church, and you have a role to play in the kingdom. So for you to say you are going to a four walls of a building, and you call that a church, and you're going there to slave, for most people in the church, because you hardly find youth in the church these days. The youth you find are just like them. Maybe they just go there on Sunday, but they don't even believe in God, because you've given them a wrong concept of who God is. Most of them are in church, but they are atheists. They don't believe God. They don't believe in God. So majority of people in church are people who have already lived more than half their years, 70 years. Now, if you already have half left or less than half, what are you still going to do there? When you have a limited time to fulfill the purpose and the calling of God upon your life. So for me, for those watching and for us here, it will make no sense, honestly, for you to go back into that slave camp you call church. Except the church, like Pastor Sunday said yesterday, is a church that is helping you to discover who you are and to discover your purpose and fulfill your purpose. If not, get out of that place. You are in prison. You are in a grave. Now, like Pastor Bosse said yesterday, light comes to wake us up. If light comes and you are still sleeping, then I'm sorry for you. Honestly, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for you. That's just what I have to say.
Yeah, so you people can take this example, this model, this is like a model for you, like a template, and have an idea of how to develop. These are not discovery now, these are developing. So for people to say that some people fail or they try to do something, it's just because no planning. Planning gives you 75% of the success already, just by sitting down and planning for it. Jesus said it, that if any one of you wants to build a tower, he has to sit down and calculate and plan. Yeah. If you want to go against another king for a war, you have to also sit down and plan things. So planning, like the kind of detailed planning, gives you, secures you, guarantees you success much ahead. But how will you be able to plan it like this? You must educate. You have to have enough information about the subject.
Yes.
So you have to study the subject very well. You have to have all the information for you to be able to then put it out like that.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to start the question by saying I totally understand, first and foremost, that my life mission is to please God. And then after that, I know what my general purpose would be and the other levels after that. Well, this question is, I want to kind of deviate a little bit and go mundane. These principles you've taught us, can we use it in mundane lives too? So like...
Of course!
Good.
If you want to become a governor,
yeah.
For example, I want to become a governor. Let's go back to the pyramid. This is what I expect the presidential candidates to do. For example, I want to become the president of Nigeria in the next... I want to become the president of Nigeria in the next 20 years, 25 years. So what I do is... So the main value of my life, calling life mission, is to please God. So I know exactly why I want to become the president of Nigeria. So it's not ambition. I want to bring the kingdom of God to the land of Nigeria as it is in heaven. You remember that life mission, it is your obsession. And it's always about his plan. And what is his plan? That we be done here on earth as it is in heaven. So why do I want to become president of my country? Because I want his will. That's my obsession. But when I listen to most people who want to become president in Nigeria, it's like it's just their own ambition. They just want it to enter into their record. It's driven by self. So it's going to go wrong, either you like it or not. So that is a mundane thing. No more mundane thing, but worldly things or secular thing. Yeah. So I know that is my vision. So that doesn't allow me to be polluted, because it's about pleasing God. It's about bringing his kingdom to the earth. But then I move from my life mission to global life purpose. So the global life purpose is to become the president of Nigeria. So being that president, therefore, is still a means of me imposing the kingdom of God and his will on the earth. And I am a means. So then we go from there to general plan. So to become a president, I have to study who are the best presidents in the world and what did they go through, what are their paths and their processes. So from there, I'm able to know that, 80% of the people who became presidents in America, the best of them, they went to Yale or Harvard. So I know, okay, my path is giving me direction and idea. I've got to go to a top school or high league school in my country also. That will give me some reputation. So that's just one step. You remember in the general plan, there are many steps, all the things I have to do. So for me to get to that university, I have to raise money. maybe I have to study, or I have to, I have to work, or I have to find a way to raise the money. Okay, after I raise money, before I get to that university, to become a president, who are the people who become president? What can I study that will enhance me to be a better president or the best president? So is it economy? Is it government management? Is it politology? Is it law? So I have to answer that question for myself, and then look inside myself and say, what are the skills that I have that will allow me to become better president? Okay, I know that, being president is about people. So I have to develop people, skills, people relation skills. I have to know how to build bridges. So I have to know how to also build networks. So all those things have to be written down. I have to write all those, like I wrote, the visible wealth and the resources and the invisible resources that I have. And the education is to help me develop them. And then how I am going to build those bridges. So who are the main political heavyweights in my country? It must be one or the other. I must get to know all the political heavyweights in my country. I must build relationship with them. They must know me. They must respect me. I must give something to them so that they will respect me and honor me also, so that when the time comes, they will know, I will have their support. So those are the kind of things you want to write down. So then the people who will vote, I want to begin to do some programs already now for them to already know who I am and to remember me and to know the kind of things I'm bringing to them, how to sell myself to them already from the grassroots. Then I have to calculate, so for me to win an election as president, how many votes will I need? I have to study the last 10 years, how many votes were required for all these people to become president. So 20 million votes, 50 million votes, 40 million votes, where did they come from? What regions voted? What were the factors that made them to vote? Those are the things I should be calculating right now. And then I have to go and now begin to influence those segments of the society where I said the votes are coming from, what made them to vote. I have to begin to plant there myself, my vision. But I have to begin to see it myself over there. So those are the systems. Then I have to begin to go to the short term with names of people, representatives, team, sell the vision to my team members, and begin to get them to, to begin to multiply myself in all those places. This is before I get to becoming, these are years before. So when I am seeing all those things people are doing and they are wondering why I'm not supporting them, the young guys, I know better, guys.
It's like jumping from primary school to the university.
No, from kindergarten
to the university.
I have another question, sir.
Yes. Right. So you can use it for business as well? Yeah. For anything. These are just life goals, I'm just using my own as an example, but I am who I am. Yeah. But I could also take other aspects of my life, maybe not church if you want. I could use book writing, for example, or political influence, for example. And I could use you will see all these same steps being used to achieve all those things.
Okay. Now, my other question is, was there ever a scenario where you had to go back to maybe your general plan or your long-term plan? Yes. Because you missed something and you
found okay. All the time. All right. You have to be tweaking it and, upgrading and working on them, perfecting, yes. All right. The more you know, the more you perfect. Yeah.
Okay. How long did it take you to come up with this whole plan?
2 years. Because I have to reflect, I have to think, I have to, it has to be based on something. You are talking of the whole totality of it, but first of all, maybe it will take me a day or a week to get the first level. The second level is also maybe a day or a week, but then the others are details, information, and the plans and figures and statistics and Yes, ma'am.
Yes, can you elucidate further on the local church, the social church, and then
missionary church,
and then the refuge?
Refuge, city of refuge.
Yeah.
Okay, the city of refuge. You already have an idea, because we see a lot of people in the society that, you know, that is my strategy. Normal human being in Europe here don't want to listen to me as a black person, even if I have anything to give. So I've got to look for people who are desperate, who are weak, who are helpless, and show them the love of God. But when I show them the love of God and I pray for them, you know, they go back. They always fall back. So that they will not keep on falling back, I needed to create environment for them where they will be strengthened first before going back down to conquer their world. So we build these houses, refuge houses, like the place you went to. So those are what we call refuge houses or rehabilitation centers, to rehabilitate them and to make them, to reprogram their life totally before they go back with vision and begin to live for purpose, and they begin to get all these results they get with those testimonies. Now the local church is the normal standard church that we talk about, where you go to a building. Local church. We have a pastor, you have praise and worship, like you went on Sunday. But social churches are the ones that are not having any place like that. We don't have a church building, you don't have, just you, knowing, for example, that you are called to minister to home or senior citizens, for example. So you don't have a church building where you bring them to, but you have that vision, so you are developed to go and meet those people where they are. So you go to the senior citizens place, you sign an agreement with them, you'll be coming to teach them. No praise and worship, no religion, but truth and principles. And you begin to disciple them that way. Or for example, you have a vision for companies and factories. So you go into the factories, you see their problems, that okay, the productivity is low because people have problems at home. They have challenges. So you are coming there to say, okay, the productivity of your company will be better if we could address their issues that they are having apart from the workplace issues. So if we could help them to resolve the problem they have with their husbands and with their children, they will be more focused to work here. So if you want, we could be coming every week or every day to do 1 hour class with your workers. Just, you know, so you are a social pastor. So you are teaching 500 people in that company or in that place. You are doing training for them. But you are a pastor because you give them to Christ, you do something, but not immediately. You just first of all go and give them what they need. Or you go to schools, you are a social pastor, you have 1,000, 2,000 students, you know, that you first of all go and just minister to, meet their needs, and then they begin to follow your curriculum, which is, you know, don't smoke, don't drink, and they give their lives to Christ. Those are social pastors. So church doesn't just have to be in a building somewhere. It is go ye into all the world. And so it's about we leaving the 4 walls rather and going to meet the needs of people where they are.
So I just only think about that because this church, when I heard church, the first thing that come up in my mind that is
the local church.
Yeah, local church. And how should we get rid of that? Because I think it's a very, very
stereotype.
Yeah, very. And people have so bad experience, yes. Different experience, but I think it's only they're so traditional and so religious experience. People had bad experience, so could we get rid of it? Did we need it to build the kingdom?
Well, in our church here, like I said, you have different options.
Yes.
So we have it for people who need it.
Who need it?
People who feel they need it. Because first, yes.
They feel
because
they
Jesus, you know, Jesus started it. Jesus started the church, but he didn't start a building.
No. Yeah.
So Jesus just called church fellowship of where 2 or 3 are gathered together. There you are. This is a church too. But it doesn't have to be religious. It is religion we don't need. It is the hierarchy we don't need. It is the formality we don't need. Ceremony we don't need. But the gathering of people we need. Because we are social beings. So it could be in that form, like people who understand. If they feel they need it, they can go there. But it could be in the form of home meetings. It could be in the form of social churches that we are saying. It could be in the form of missionaries, some groups. But it doesn't just have to be that form you are saying. And you talk about.
And I wonder, because it's very traditional to think, okay, there's a meeting every Sunday, and then you have a cell group in the middle of the week. Do you have that?
Yes, we not. In our church, you don't have to go to church.
No.
You don't have to.
No.
Because on Sunday, you might be doing solitude for yourself to be with God. Or on Sunday, you might be having your ministry somewhere. Maybe in the prison, or maybe with your group. Or, but if you want also cell group, you can do it. It's not compulsory. Or if you want, you can go. If you don't want, you might not go. But, but everything is available for people. So, for example, you are a leader. You need to meet with your own group to, plan and strategize. But it's not like the thing you are talking about. It's more freer.
Because I think that if this as we see in the Acts, that they come together every day because they have a
But
vision.
you see, they come together. They had one big meeting in the Acts, and they have in homes as well.
Yeah.
But they are free. But they are moving there. They want to go there because of what they get. They get life. They get brotherhood. They get friendship. Nobody was in need. That is the right picture of church. Nobody was in need of everything. Everybody's needs were being met. That is the right, healthy church. But it becomes a corrupt idea of church when you cannot, your needs are not being met. You cannot have your goals. You cannot have your vision. You are not becoming anything. You are only a slave to one man. And you are only doing what the man wants. And you are not, fulfilling your own vision. But the church is supposed to be helping you and everybody fulfill their vision. When it is like that, then it's good.
Yes.
DSA, can I ask, for the social churches,
next month, I'm going to start a series on church. It's going to be mind-blowing. I'm going to talk for 1 month only about church. So get ready. It's going to be revolutionary. It's going to be like a blast. Yes, please.
So for the social churches, DSA, who develops the curriculum? Is it
no curriculum?
I mean, okay. So like, if you're gonna go, let's say to old people's homes, for example, maybe to do some teachings.
Yes.
Is there a format that people follow? Are there materials available that people can use?
For example, you could take my book, Who Will Come to Your Funeral, and divide it into lessons. Okay. Every chapter could be divided into 10 classes. Truth. You'll see a lot of truth in those books you are reading that these people need. And so maybe 30 minutes program or 1 hour program, you divide them and then you present them. Don't put in the book, but just like different classes, and you can plan them as you want. So you could then distribute them to people to say, and you discuss. You read and discuss. So everybody is free to use the material it sees as the need of those particular people. So, for example, you might choose to use that book, or you might choose to use another book, which you have to see the needs of the people, what you know that they are in need of. You got,
that's very, very useful. Thank you.
I have only one question more, and I wonder. I really want to bring these books to Norway, and I wonder if I could interpreted to Norwegian because a lot of people, especially my age and younger, they don't read English. So
okay. Yes, you can translate them to Norwegian, but we don't have problem with that. What we have problem with is what happens after you translate them. Do you have bookstores to distribute them for you? Do you have sellers? Do you have distributors? Because we've got some people who want to ask for permission to translate our books. Then we give them the permission. Then they translate it and they cannot even print it. That's number one. Or some of them, they don't even know distributors. They don't have the experience. They've never been there. So preparation has got to go ahead. Plan, strategy, to be able to have, that you have people, you have bookstores that will take it, you have people to distribute it for you. You are going to be able to sell it, make money for yourself, and distribute more. If you plan it well, why not? Yes, we'll give it to you.
Yes.
Good.
I will do. I will do. I will do. I should do it. Yes.
Okay. My time is over. Yeah, my time is over, but it's nice.
So for the social church, what if they might ask, what is your qualification? What your permit,
Yes, in this place too. For example, you have a group, you have your team, and you might not have the certificate, but somebody in your team will have a pedagogical education. So that we use the document, we do the document in his name because of the education background he has. So that gives everybody the permission to go, because then you license everyone as people who are your team members.
So it's an NGO then?
Yeah, like NGO.
So is it an NGO then?
Yeah, everybody have their own NGO.
Okay.
So the books for today, for this subject, for this teaching is what you need, how to get what you need in life. That is the book, how to get what you need in life, number one. And the second book, why am I unlucky? Most of the people who complain that they are unlucky in life and things don't work out for them is because they don't know systems. They don't know how to build structures like this. So that's why this book will be helpful. Why am I unlucky? People just think it's luck, but it's not about luck really. It's about systems, the ability to sit down and put things together. So that book will also be helpful. Why am I unlucky? And then, of course, the latest book, it is all about kingdom. Kingdom first, church second. So it's why am I unlucky? Kingdom first, church second, and how to get what you need in life. How to get what you need in life. I hope you are blessed, guys.
Yes.
So we'll see you a bit later today. Okay, thank you. Take care of yourselves.
Dr. Sunday. Okay, for our viewers, we'll be back this afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you've shared this program already. If you haven't, please do so and go back and watch this again and again. I know the delegates will be doing that, so I hope you also will be doing the same thing so that you can benefit from it. I just want to remind you of something. April HMT will start from the 8th to the 12th of April. From the 8th to the 12th of April. The forms will be published shortly. So if you're interested, please go ahead and fill the form later today or maybe tomorrow. And if you can't see the form, please write to hmt@godembassy.org. hmt@godembassy.org. I would send you the link, or the team will send you the link. Of course, we also have the 25th anniversary, the silver anniversary of Embassy of God on the 4th to the 7th. So that's just a day before HMT. If you like, you can combine both and celebrate with us, or you can come for the anniversary or the HMT, or whichever way you prefer. You're all invited. So please make arrangement for that as well. The details will be in the form, and we hope to see you this April. Thank you very much. I will be back this afternoon. Take care. Bye.